early statistics and figures are in, and it seems like Switch is off to a super hot start. What's up, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. I've got Gabe and Jake with me, and we've got some information now on how Switch performed over the launch weekend, and it did really darn well. The first bit of info comes from Nick Wingfield, a reporter from the New York Times, and based on an interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé, president of Nintendo, he claims that Reggie claims, I guess, rather, that Nintendo Switch exceeded first 2-day sales in the Americas for any system in Nintendo history, the next biggest being Wii. And this came out in March. Most of Nintendo's systems released in the fall holiday time frame. Switch exceeding Wii in March, that's one heck of an accomplishment. Now, he continues to go on and say that Zelda for Nintendo Switch is the best-selling standalone launch title in Nintendo history. So that doesn't include stuff like Wii Sports being bundled with Wii, Super Mario World being bundled with SNES, but it does include and does overtake Super Mario 64 for N64, which I think is pretty darn cool. Nick Wingfield finishes by saying that, long-term comparisons, long-term predictions to the Wii, which sold over 100 million units, it's a really tough call to make, but definitely a good start for Switch, and they have big games, big sellers in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, and more coming.
The thing is, we can't just automatically assume that this is another Wii on Nintendo's hands, because as other people decided to point out, that it could just be a supply thing. Maybe they're putting more of these out there than the Wii. The Wii is kind of famous for the fact that they constrained the supply that they were giving to retailers for a very long time. They just couldn't meet the demand. This time it seems like they're a little bit more prepared. There's more Wiis out here, even though they are still sold out in a lot of stores. So who knows how that's going to go, but I don't think we should pretty much claim it like a long-term victory quite yet. It's too early.
I think it is still impressive. And I think after the sales dud of the Wii U, the fact that they come in hot with the Switch is quite an accomplishment. And it shows that they were able to rebound and sort of bring back and win back the gamer mindshare with the Switch. We also have an update from Famitsu that the Switch first week sales in Japan were 313,700 units. Now, this gets a little, a little bit of uncertainty because we don't know how they're calculating first week. Obviously, it hasn't even been a week for the Switch, so are they taking Friday and Saturday? They're taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nonetheless, they compare this to the first week sales of Wii U, Wii, and PS4, and it compares very well. The Wii U is at 308,000, so this exceeds that. The Wii was at 371, so the Switch is below that. Again, I don't know if they're giving, first week, a lot of times could be a different number of days.
Yeah.
PS4 at 322,000. So regardless of what the day count is, the Switch is up there with these very big sellers, which I think is a good sign. And again, they note Switch launches outside of the Christmas season, outside of the holiday rush in March, and still is performing this well.
I think people are ready to accept Nintendo once again, because with the Wii U for the entire time, they were close to a laughingstock, if we're being honest. Like, people made fun of the Wii U. Like, it wasn't the system people wanted to play. But now it seems like people are on board once again. Zelda has restored faith in Nintendo for the most part. A lot of people are really, really enjoying it. So if they can keep up the supply, make sure that people that want a Switch can buy one instead of whatever type of shortage there was, whether it be artificial, whether it be legitimate manufacturing issues, whatever it was. If they can avoid that and keep these things in store for people that want them, I think they have a winner here.
And, just to point out, they did this all while having the worst tasting games of all time.
Thank you for that brilliant analysis, Jake. Also, looking at some of the Wii comparisons, it's like, what's going to determine that is how well this catches on with the mainstream. Hardcore, yes, they're winning back. Does this have the same sort of click with the average soccer mom, the average family, the average household? That's TBD, but I think it's off to a strong start, and I think, what's great about this is they were successful on two fronts. They proved that they have a great idea from a hardware, from a console standpoint, and they proved that it's not just same old Zelda, right? That they can advance their development. They can look forward. They can bring us big, bold games that fit better in 2017 than something, of the past where people were like, oh, same old Zelda, same old Mario. And if they can continue to innovate in their development like that, that only is going to bolster sales and continue to make this thing the success that it seems like it's starting out to be.
You know what I'm more interested in sales-wise that we don't know quite yet? accessories. Pro controllers sold out. A lot of people are buying extra Joy-Cons, especially because of the configurations. A lot of people want the all blue. A lot of people want the all red.
Yeah, and just multiplayer.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, the price of the accessories are pretty high. So I wonder how these things are doing. When we went to like 3 or 4 different stores to look for certain accessories and we couldn't find them. So
yeah, we ended up finding just a couple pair of Joy-Con, one Pro controller, I believe one of the stores had. So yeah, how many of those were shipped out? What's the attach rate of accessories in games? I mean, we have to imagine that Zelda has an insanely high percentage. But what's it like for Pro? What's it like for the charging grip? What's it like for extra sets of Joy-Con? And I'm also curious, like, what are going to be the sales figures for 1-2 Switch?
Probably not great.
You don't think?
I think
because it's not packing. You think people would give Wii Sports a chance or give Nintendo Land a chance, but you don't think with pain.
Look, right now the reaction I'm getting from people is that 1-2 Switch isn't very good, and that, or at the very least, it's only good for a few minutes or like one night of like laughs. And the fact that it's so expensive, it should have been a pack-in. I feel like people would have probably been more easy on it because it's getting trashed online. Like, nobody likes the game at all.
I really like the game.
Yeah, you two do.
I think it fits into kind of the genius of the Switch, which is that it has its own marketing plan built in. Whereas like a PS4, like, yeah, you can play with your friends, but the Switch you're gonna see out and about in the real world. You're gonna, a soccer mom, like you were saying, will see somebody else at the soccer game playing their Switch and be like, oh, what's that? And like it'll kind of permeate and market itself in a way that no other console really would. Which I think will kind of steady out the sales and the longevity of the Switch. And I think 1-2 Switch is kind of like that, where it won't be the greatest seller. It's not going to be a Zelda or anything even close to that.
But it could be like an evergreen title.
Yeah, where the more people who play it, then they pick it up for themselves and like their families or friends.
I personally don't see it, but I'm wrong.
You're just a huge 1-2 Switch downer.
Yeah, no, well, it's not just me, unfortunately.
It's the worst tasting launch game to you.
It tastes worse than Zelda.
No, but anyhow, kudos to Nintendo. Bravo to them. Again, a big statement and a big success. The fact that they were able to achieve that level of sales success in their first weekend after the Wii U. Love the bounce back. Love the initial figures. Now let's see where they can go from here. Thanks so much to all of you for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on what these figures and what this initial sales rush and raising to the top of all Nintendo systems for first 2 days, what that means to you and where you think that takes the Switch in the future. Until that time, though, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest. We'll check back in when we get more expanded figures and more expanded info. For now, just want to get you guys the early details. Source in the description. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. Switch Force out.